personalities, experts in their respective fields, those who have made substantial contributions to our national growth. I feel privileged to be invited for this very important and very futuristic conclave. I have not come here with a prepared text of speech. Unless I am making an official statement, I don't prepare speech. I prefer to see the situation, feel the pulse, and also speak whatever comes into your mind at that point of time. I don't really prepare. I am actually not only happy with the way FICCI and the FICCI flow has particularly performed over the last 42 years, which briefly was being reported. I'm excited also, but more than that, I'm motivated. I am inspired by the works which you have carried forward. And I was introduced as a youthful leader. So I must make very specific clarification. Don't go by my looks. It's very deceptive. I'm not that young. So, but what is important is youthfulness, the energy inside. Look at the energy of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. Nobody is more youthful than the Prime Minister. So this is the energy, the kind of work you do for your nation. So my plea is, as long as we are alive, we must be youthful. The age should not matter. FICCI has been an organization I have associated with many times. I had addressed many events, many functions, and participated in some of the events. They've done tremendous job. But the ladies group, what you have done, I think this must be replicated in all the organizations. Prime Minister has very specifically made it a central theme of our government's agenda, which is women-led development, the empowerment of women. I don't want to name those schemes and programs because there are series of events being launched. Just yesterday, Honorable Prime Minister launched Swasth Mahila, Swasth Nari. So Swasth Nari is, it's empowering your family. So Swasth Nari, Sashakta Parivar. So every time Prime Minister takes a step, it's for empowerment of the woman, which is actually empowering the society. So the government's agenda, everything is well known, but whatever the FICCI flow is doing, I think we need to integrate more. And this time I'm happy that you have brought in the Chhatra Sansad Parishad, Chhatra Parishad, Chhatra Sansad. Last time the students came to meet me, I had a brief interaction with them. It's very important. As a democratic society means not India has become a democracy in 1947. India has always been a democratic society since ancient time. Of course, we had ups and downs in our history, but as a society, the character, the intrinsic character of Indian society is democratic. So we have to ensure that at very young age, the youth must involve in inculcating the habits of debates and discussions. You must be sometimes watching the parliament session. So normally I get lots of comments, positive comments, negative comments. The foreign delegations do come because they want to see the largest democracy in the world, how does it function. At times people don't understand the spirit and the functioning of the parliamentary democracy. Many people tell me, sir, there are lots of noise in the parliament. ruckus being created. There are so much of disruptions. So I plainly tell them that if there is no noise in the parliament, where else it would be? अगर पार्लियामेंट में हंगामा नहीं होगा तो कहाँ होगा? ये तो लोकतंत्र है, यही तो हंगामा होगा. अगर पार्लियामेंट में हंगामा नहीं होगा तो वो जीवंत नहीं होगा. It will not be vibrant democracy. There has to be heated debates and discussion in the house. The house is for that only. Some people do complain. हाँ, पार्लियामेंट ज़्यादा ही डिस्टर्ब हो रहा है. Yes, I do agree. At times we can't pass bills for weeks. Then we have to force by brute majority because देश भी तो चलाना है ना. तो बिल पास नहीं होगा तो देश कैसे चलेगा? लोगों को सैलरी पहुंचाना है तो बजट भी तो पास करना है, खर्च भी तो करना है, कमाना भी है. कमाने के लिए तो फिक्की सबसे आगे आएगा. आप बिजनेस वाले हैं तो हमको देश भी चलाना है और नियम भी पालन करना है. सो वी वांट the elaborate debates and discussion for every bill and every matter which comes to the parliament. But then if there are situations that the debates are not taking place due to physical obstructions, then we are forced to pass the bills and push through the government business, which we don't prefer. In the last session, just concluded our monsoon session. For 2 weeks, we gave time. As a parliamentary affairs minister, I had a difficult task to convince all the political parties, especially the bigger floor leaders, that okay, you can raise your issue for a few days, but let us start discussing on the important bills. But then the political agenda was almost overshadowing everything, so they did not agree, and finally we had to pass the bills. I don't know how many people have understood the productivity of the parliament session. Those who are very much interested in parliamentary democracy, how our government, how our parliament functions, they will pay a little bit attention and then you will understand. The last monsoon session was one of the most productive parliament session ever I have attended since long time. I have been in parliament for a long time. So we passed so many bills. For example, I will not name all, I'm just giving you inferences. We passed the bill for regulating the online gaming. The whole society is in a trap. The entire generation is facing difficulties. They are making a choice without any regulation. We need to regulate the online gaming in the name of skill and gaming. Actually, there is a gambling going on in the entire ambit of the online, and that was spoiling entire future generation. We had to regulate, and unfortunately, such a path-breaking bill had to be pushed through without discussion, because the opposition parties were on the well of the house, and if we wanted discussion, it was not laudable, as well as there were physical problems. So we had to pass the bill because we are in the government. We have a mandate to ensure that the country's future is secured and the business of the house are maintained as per rules and business. So after that, then we also passed through another important bill, which is about checking corruption. Important position holders like chief ministers, ministers, prime minister. We need to make a strong law that if you are occupying a high constitutional position, then you must be an example of how idle, how ethical you are, how morally you are an example for the generation. So if the person, there is an accusation, if he is under detention or in jail for 30 days consecutive, then he must abdicate his position. It is one of those important bills which we had envisaged for a long time. Finally, we passed it, and we couldn't have waited. Initially, the committee recommended that Prime Minister should be kept out of the ambit of this law. Prime Minister should be immune to this particular provision. But Prime Minister himself said that Prime Minister is not above the law. Prime Minister also should be included. That bill also was passed without any discussion. And then we had National Sports Governance Bill. The entire sporting system in our country required revamp, relooked. Unfortunately, such important bills, National Sports Governance Bill as well as Anti-Doping Bill, the younger generation, young athletes becoming victims of drugs, of doping and all. These bills also were passed without discussion. Series of important, matters we had to push through. So it's very unfortunate. Some of the students, many youth who come to witness the parliament proceedings, they get disappointed. It is very difficult to get a pass, enter the parliament, sit in the gallery, see the debate and discussion. When they enter the gallery, within 30 seconds, the house is adjourned. The whole day trip with excitement to see the witness is gone. Next day they cannot come back. So these are the things which I feel as a parliamentarian we have to feel the pulse of the people, that we have our right to make noise, but then we have an obligation to ensure that we don't spoil our image as a vibrant democracy. There is a limit to which one must protest and oppose. The role of opposition is to ensure that the government is given right reflection of its failure or shortcomings, but not only oppose for the sake of opposition. So if you see India's parliamentary democracy, it's a very interesting journey. I have so many things coming up in my mind to speak about, but then I'll not make a long speech. There are problems all around the world. 1947 we achieved independence. Have you ever given a thought why India is surviving? Not only surviving, but we are thriving as a vibrant democracy. Many people don't think. They just celebrate, oh, we are a successful democracy. But why? How did we survive? What are the critical reasons which makes India a success story? Ultimately, people in United States, America, or in Western Europe, which were considered the cradle of the democratic setup, they feel that our Indian democratic system is the best system in the world. Now, there are reasons. If you carefully study the Indian Constitution, other constitutions had its own history. But Indian Constitution, when it was framed, it was debated for 2.5 years, led by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and his team of great jurists, great thinkers. Imagine the Constitution framework which we have on the occasion of 75th years of India's 70 years of the journey of the Constitution. We published a book. There we had mentioned in detail the beautiful journey of the Constitution of India. They made such a beautiful Constitution that today, no matter how much somebody tries to disrupt the functioning or to hijack the Constitution, it cannot happen. The check and balance, the federal structure, the unitary character, the division of powers, the separation of powers between judiciary, executive and legislature, then the autonomy of some of the constitutional authorities. The things were beautifully crafted in such a way that Indian Constitution has become not only the largest or biggest constitution, but it is the best constitution in the world. Because the founding fathers, they have made such a huge contribution. I have lost words to thank Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and his team. The younger generation must devote some time. Please understand the life of B.R. Ambedkar. Many people just try to portray him as a leader of a scheduled caste, scheduled tribe or backward communities, or just fighting for social justice and equality. Not that. He is much beyond. Imagine when I went to London and I visited the place where he studied his law, and that was a small flat where he stayed. Of course, after Modi ji became Prime Minister, that house has been purchased and made as a museum in the honor of Ambedkar, and this building where we are sitting, this is in the name of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar International Center. So we need to realize that those great visionary leaders, they have laid such a strong foundation. Today we are celebrating our success. So my suggestion is, do whatever you want to do. We have a diversified opportunities before us. But these founding fathers, you must study, you must give some time to know about their life. That itself will give you lots of energy, lots of way forward to understand yourself. And secondly, and finally, I would like to just speak about our success story in terms of our future prospects. You must be already aware of Prime Minister's clarion call. By 2047, India should become Viksit Bharat. Means India should become a developed nation. How will it become? As a young student, I had traveled widely. I had traveled 155 countries before I became Member of Parliament. So at a very young age, I traveled. Each traveling is worth writing a book. But I am not a writer, so I am not even contemplating of writing a book. But I have vivid the memory of how I started my journey across the globe, from St. Helena Island, traveling 6 days in the ship, to Nauru, to some small tiny islands in South Pacific, to bigger countries. I have realized over the years by my traveling, because traveling is the biggest knowledge, nothing can replace it, how India was not known, how India was misunderstood. India was perceived as a poor nation, you know. ये तो सांप सपेरों का देश है, snake charmers, all. What impression we had those days? I used to, feel the pain. Despite such a great civilization, such a rich heritage, how they perceive India. They just see that India was a colonized nation, they got freedom, and today they are still poor nation. That was the impression. It was not a good experience. And every time I stepped out of the country, the same theme was, troubling me. And I felt that someday, if I come to politics, I must join a political party which can devote full-heartedly for the growth of India and to make India prosperous. Then I realized in 1947 we became independent. We had 5 years economic policy, but we did not have target. Whenever you go somewhere, there has to be a destination. Where are we going? We have no target. So from 1947 till 2014, there was no target set. We had agendas, we had planning, we had 5-year plan, everything, but there was no target. Now remember, when Prime Minister set Viksit Bharat target of 2047, it is not an easy target. Now where are we? We are in 2025. How many years left for 2047? 22 years remaining before us. For last so many years, for last 78 years journey, we have not become a developed nation yet. In 2014, we were ranked 11. Now we are ranked 5. Now 4th. Officially we are 4th. So when I sometimes search for my own speech. As a young member of parliament, I used to make speech in the parliament that we are in 2004, 2005. When will India become in the part of top 3? But 2004, India was ranked 11. 2014, India was ranked 11. So in 10 years, no change. But this 11 years journey, we jumped from the 11th position to 4th, and very soon we are going to reach the 3rd position. This journey is incredible. So that means when we were in 2014 $1.9 trillion economy, today we are a 4.1 plus trillion dollar economy. Just you have a common, common sense application of mind. So many years from 47 to 14 and 14 to 25. How this transformation has happened? Then you will realize the leadership, the vision, the target set by the Prime Minister. So today I can confidently say in the FICCI platform that 22 years time which is remain in front of us when we would be celebrating the 100 years of India's independence, we have clocked 7.8% GDP growth for the first quarter of 2025. India is going to achieve the status of a developed nation by 2047. It is very realistic. Now, since I'm talking to you, I'm not addressing a political conclave. So, as an Indian, I'm speaking not as a minister. Who doesn't want to be a citizen of a developed nation? Nobody wants to be called poor. Nobody wants to be poor. We want to become a proud citizen of a developed nation. How will it happen? So, if we could achieve the status of the fastest growing economy in the big countries league in last 11 years, we are definitely well on track to achieve the target set by the Honorable Prime Minister. So the roles, the contributions to be played by the youth, the women, are going to be the most critical one. And you are today having right thought, right mind, right platform, and the contribution of the women is absolutely critical, because that is half the society. So that is how the whole women-centric, women-led development approach, all this Nari Shakti, the effort in the theme of government's approach started in 2014. I'm proud to be a part of this government from the day one, but Prime Minister has said that it is not only the ministers who are part of the government. It is actually every citizen is part of the government. So we started with this call, and today we are well on course. As I said in the beginning, I am not here actually to make a speech. Actually, you should listen to Sister Shivani ji. She is the coolest speaker in country. She speaks so well, and she is so sharp, to the point, not a single extra undesired word. Every word has to be heard. And then Captain Subhanshu Shukla, the pride of India, who has just come back after spending such a great time in the International Space Station, and the first Indian to spend time in the International Space Station. I wish him many more, his mission into the next frontier, into the world of space. And India has many space missions. The Group Captain Subhanshu Shukla will mention when he speaks. Wonderful space mission Prime Minister has already laid before us. When we become Viksit Bharat, what would be the contribution of the space exploration, same as the ocean exploration, deep sea exploration? These are all well thought of plan of Prime Minister. I wish I have time or kind of space to explain all these things, but you should listen from different speakers. Thank you, Poonamji, for inviting me. Your entire team, you have introduced them, successful career. The next team, all your legacy will be remembered. You are part of the team, so my best wishes to the entire team. And Chhatra Sansad, well done. I always feel whenever we have youth parliament, I see the energy of our youth. We have a great, bright future, because our youth are fully geared up, totally prepared to take the leadership role. I'm very happy. And then, of course, in the future, I'll try to support whenever there is some event for youth parliament. I want our youth to be more energetic, more democratic, more vibrant, more participative, so that they become integral part of the great growth story of India, and such a wonderful audience, women and children. I am so proud that you are today participating in this Future Frontier Conclave. This is really breaking the future barriers. My best wishes to all of you. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for that inspiring address. As they say, age is just a number. We are truly, truly inspired by your youthful energy. And your kind words about FICCI Flow is very encouraging. So FICCI Flow is a 42-year, not old, but a young organization, I would say. And we assure that our efforts will only amplify from here on. And we would continue to make a transformational impact on the lives of women across nation under your guidance and with the continued support of the government, and be an active participant in India's growth story towards Viksit Bharat. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we arrive at one of the most significant moments of the conclave, the release of two landmark white papers. The first is Women in STEM and India's Growth Vision, Viksit Bharat 2047. It presents a comprehensive roadmap to enhance women's participation in science and technology, bridging the gender gap in STEM and supporting India's aspiration to become a developed nation by 2047.
FICCI Flow and Lead Flow Sustainability Initiative. Mamta Bakliwal ji, Rashmi Sarita ji, Ratin Bhatt ji, Aditya Vegra ji, and very important personalities sitting with us, Sister B.K. Shivani ji, Group Captain Subhanshu Shukla ji, and many renowned personalities, experts in their respective fields, those who have made substantial contributions to our national growth. I feel privileged to be invited for this very important and very futuristic conclave. I have not come here with a prepared text of speech. Unless I am making an official statement, I don't prepare speech. I prefer to see the situation, feel the pulse, and also speak whatever comes into your mind at that point of time. I don't really prepare. I am actually not only happy with the way FICCI and the FICCI Flow has particularly performed over the last 42 years, which briefly was being reported. I'm excited also, but more than that, I'm motivated. I am inspired by the works which you have carried forward. And I was introduced as a youthful leader, so I must make very specific clarification. Don't go by my looks. It's very deceptive. I'm not that young. So, but what is important is youthfulness, the energy inside. Look at the energy of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. Nobody is more youthful than the Prime Minister. So this is the energy, the kind of work you do for your nation. So my plea is, as long as we are alive, we must be youthful. The age should not matter. FICCI has been an organization I have associated with many times. I had addressed many events, many functions, and participated in some of the events. They've done tremendous job. But the ladies group, what you have done, I think this must be replicated in all the organizations. Prime Minister has very specifically made it a central theme of our government's agenda, which is women-led development, the empowerment of women. I don't want to name those schemes and programs because there are series of events being launched. Just yesterday, Honorable Prime Minister launched Swasth Mahila, Swasth Nari. So Swasth Nari is, it's empowering your family. So Swasth Nari, Sashakt Parivar. So every time Prime Minister takes a step, it's for empowerment of the woman, which is actually empowering the society. So the government's agenda, everything is well known, but whatever the FICCI flow is doing, I think we need to integrate more. And this time I'm happy that you have brought in the Chhatra Sansad Parishad, Chhatra Parishad.
Only Chhatra.
Chhatra Sansad. Last time the students came to meet me, I had a brief interaction with them. It's very important. As a democratic society means not India has become a democracy in 1947. India has always been a democratic society since ancient time. Of course, we had ups and downs in our history, but as a society, the character, the intrinsic character of Indian society is democratic. So we have to ensure that at very young age, the youth must involve in